Welcome to the Misogynist Game Reviewer. A politically incorrect look back at games of my youth from the 80s and early 90s. This episode features my review of Space Taxi, on the Commodore 64 computer. Released in 1984 by Muse Software, Space Taxi stood out at the time for a rare feature on an 8-bit computer. Digitized speech. I still remember this being a really big deal in 1984. If you listen hard enough you can make out the words, even though it sounds like the voice had its vocal cords scrubbed with a barbed wire club, and was then forced to eat frosted mini wheats made of steel wool. And some of my commenters thought my voice was hard to understand? Sheesh. For those who are hard of hearing from listening to their Discman too loudly, there is captioning at the bottom of the screen. In this gender-neutral future where everyone wears purple shirts and yellow pants, you are simply called by your gender-neutral name, taxi. The customer always pays and always says thanks, unless they die because you drive like a woman. And you are never held criminally responsible for killing a customer. Not even a single gender signifier. There simply were not enough pixels or colors to do so. This game would easily get a good review by Feminist Anita Sarkeesian. The goal of this game is simple. Pick up 23rd century whores from a landing pad and drop them off at another, where they magically disintegrate. When you do your job, good and fast, you get rewarded. Kinda like a happy ending at a massage parlor. The completion of the level is indicated when you get the ever-famous destination of up please. Perhaps this is an erection request from the backseat driver? Boom chicka boom boom. You not only get to contend with microgravity, but dangers everywhere. The taxi must be made of matchsticks soaked in jet fuel, because if you touch anything other than a landing pad, you turn into an 8-bit ball of flames. The penalty for killing your 14-pixel high customer is $10, so at least they figured out a specific value for human life in the future. Even grazing their head with your landing foot will kill them, but hovering above the head with your rocket thruster fully firing does not. Good times. The first level features a diabetic slut in Candyland. Her friend's long dead, you pick her up, and the gates of heaven open above, and if you're successful, you are already on to the next level. Soon enough you realize this gate to heaven is not what you thought it would be as the next levels get more and more hellish. Kinda like marriage. To make things fun, when your landing feet are extended you lose ability to control your movement left and right. Maybe this is some futuristic Chrysler Neon where the landing feet, accidentally, pinch the fuel lines to your forward and rear thrusters? Here is a rare video of a secret 25th level that features a marching Nazi guard dressed in red. Now how cool is that? Perhaps it's a femi-Nazi lady in red. Who knows? You still have to use your imagination a bit with these games. There is no way a game like this would survive this pussified hypersensitive generation. The reason a Nazi guard is in this game is that it is one of 3 characters from 3 other games that Muse sold, including Castle Wolfenstein, where your mission is to plant a bomb next to Hitler, then hightail it away. If you thought digitized speech was cool in Space Taxi, wait till you hear it in German. The original game's author and programmer is a man by the name John Kutcher. Not sure if he is related to Ashton Kutcher, but if he is, then the game level named Black Hole probably refers to Demi Moore's vagina. For gamers that are under 30, here are some limitations we had to deal with back in '84. Commodore was ahead of IBM with more video colors, but only 16 total colors. Even though this game allowed up to 4 players, you had to share one joystick. No playing at the same time as your friend. The internet wouldn't really be around for the masses for another 10 years. So there was no such thing as playing over the internet with your friends. Back then, friends went to friends' houses to play computer games. Quite often only 1 or 2 friends had a Commodore 64. The whirring sound and the amount of time between levels was not a programmed delay, but the delay of the floppy disk loading the next level. The emulator I used to play this old game has an option to turn off the emulation of the slow 5 1/4 inch floppy drive, but I wanted you to have the true C64 experience. Not to be confused with the girlfriend experience. According to a C64 wiki, Space Taxi ranks 35th of all time, scoring 8.45 out of 10. In all seriousness, this game is addictive. Find a Commodore 64 emulator like Vice, a shady file copy of the space_taxi.d64, and kiss gainful employment goodbye. Remember, if it's not 8 bits, it's the shits.